Great. Thank you all for joining. We're just going to give it a second while people hop on. All right, well, let's get started. So good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, where we're going to take an in-depth look into our new table of data elements and discover how some companies are utilizing our data sets to help innovate their business. My name is Jennifer Von Pullman, and I'm the Director of Content and PR here at ATTOM Data Solutions. So now here's like a brief overview of items that will be discussed in today's webinar. We'll give you a quick introduction about who is ATTOM Data Solutions, as well as the flexible delivery solutions that ATTOM offers, before diving into what you all came for, which is an overview of our new table of data elements and some real-life use cases from top companies. Leading this discussion is Sean Mooney, our VP of Product Management here at ATTOM. And then from there, you'll hear from some top leaders in their industry that are utilizing ATTOM. We have Anton Danilovich, CEO of TopHap, a real estate technology company, and Harrison Burka, lead business analyst at SES Risk Solutions, a leading provider of insurance services for large portfolios for real estate. So now please feel free to submit your questions throughout this presentation through the question box, and we will get back to you within 2 business days. Also, just a reminder, you will be receiving a copy of this webinar the following business day. Now, ATTOM Data Solutions is your one-stop shop for premium property data with flexible delivery solutions. Our mission is to power real estate transparency and to fuel innovation across various industries with the most comprehensive property data. We've built a multi-source national data warehouse that blends property tax, deed, mortgage, foreclosure, environmental risk, natural hazard, and neighborhood data for more than 155 million U.S. residential and commercial properties, which covers 99% of the U.S. population. Now, our data is not a one-size-fits-all. Our flexible delivery options, such as bulk data licensing, API, match and append, data as a service, and other solutions, give you a choice when it comes to how you consume the data and also how much data you wish to consume. We tailor our solutions to meet the challenges and opportunities in your industry and for your specific objectives. So from there, now I'd like to introduce you to Sean Mooney, our VP of Product Management. All you, Sean.
All right, thank you, Jen. And thanks to everyone who's joined us for today's webinar. Now, for anyone who's familiar with our business, you've probably seen this image or recognize it. It's really become our signature for how we represent our vast data assets in a very visual way that we feel everyone can understand in a glance. Now, as our data assets have grown over the past year, we felt it was necessary to revamp the presentation of this a bit. So with the new one that we're about to launch, you can see we've expanded our list of categories, going from about 4 to 10. And that's a combination of bringing in new data elements, as well as just a natural expansion of the categories that we feel better represents the various data we offer. So for the next 15, 20 minutes, I'm not going to go through an exhaustive review of each element, but rather I'll just highlight the main categories and a few elements within each category. And then I'll turn the webinar over to Harrison and Anton so that they can demonstrate how they're using some of this data to power their businesses. And also, just so everyone knows, this table of elements is solution agnostic. So it doesn't really define which data is available in bulk API or any other delivery methods. It's really to represent the various data sets that we can provide to our customers through any delivery. So let's begin with the property and ownership categories. So we track a lot of information about individual properties and the data within these categories, as well as our transaction data. And this data provides our customers with much of the core data assets that they use in their business. Our tax assessor data set includes address, legal description, property characteristics, features, and much more details about individual properties. This data set covers about 155 million U.S. residential and commercial properties, which is over 99% of the nation's population. And that's in more than 3,000 counties nationwide that we have that coverage. We also provide geocodes, which are a set of lat-long coordinates to define the specific location of a property. And these are important, particularly if you want to display properties in a mapping application. Last year, we added building permit data, which provides all the available historical permitted work that's been performed on a property. Our building permit product includes information such as the type of work done, for instance, if a new roof was added and when, as well as the cost of the work performed. And whether you're using it for insurance, marketing, or investment purposes, building permit really helps shed more light on a property's history and the work that's been performed on the property. HOA contact and fees. So this is a new product that we're able to begin offering to our customers. The HOA product identifies properties that are part of a homeowners association and includes detailed contact and information and fee information for each HOA. It helps in uses where you're trying to uncover which properties belong to an HOA, whether to analyze collateral risk or for various marketing purposes. Now, on the ownership side, we provide current owner information of a property, and that includes the owner names, owner tax mailing addresses, and exemptions related to the homeowner. Some typical uses we see with this data is, finding properties that are not owner occupied, uncovering properties, with owners that have specific exemptions, or verifying ownership for a variety of different use cases. So our mortgage and transaction category consists of any data related to the sale and mortgage history for individual properties, as well as any derivatives that we create from this data. Broadly speaking, we offer nationwide recorder data with more than 500 million real estate and loan transactions in over 2,600 counties nationwide. We provide detailed information regarding transactions that have taken place on a property. So for instance, when a property is sold or changes ownership for any reason, or even when new mortgages are made on a property, that's all captured in this data. Our recorder data includes buyer and seller information, transfer types, and loan amounts for various transactions. We also provide the loan position for active loans on a property. The positioning of the loan is based on the loan model, on a loan model logic that we've put in place, and that is continually updated with the full history of loan position and loan status for residential properties as these new loan transactions come in. The model kicks in and continually will update the positioning. And that's to ensure that we are actively providing customers with the current loan positions available on properties. Sales prices are also included in public record data, and most states provide the sale price for a property. It's recorded. And we do make those available in our primary recorder product. However, there are states that are non-disclosure, and they won't provide a sales price. So what we do is we utilize any available information pertaining to the transfer of the property to estimate the sales price or value of the property when these details aren't available. So it's really geared, again, to provide our customers with as much information about a property, particularly a sales price, when we know we could estimate it in areas where we're just not going to get sales prices. We offer an iBuyer Trends product for customers who are looking to understand trends around iBuying, where they're purchasing, the types of homes they are purchasing, as well as the volume and price points at which they're purchasing at. And then lastly, NMLS ID is another new data set that we're able to provide to our customers. The product provides customers access to the names and the NMLS ID for those individuals, companies, and brokers that are originating residential mortgage loans across the nations. So some typical use cases for this is to measure loan origination and loan activity against competition and market activity, um, recruiting leading purchase and non-purchase loan originators, or identifying loan originators for potential partnerships and business relationships. So as far as foreclosures go, we've been self-collecting foreclosures for many years, and we feel we offer the most comprehensive nationwide coverage of foreclosure data on the market. Our foreclosure data solution provides detailed information for homes in any stage of the foreclosure process. We provide details such as default amounts, auction dates and times, and the parties involved in the foreclosure proceedings. We offer both active foreclosure inventory as well as historical foreclosures going back to 2005. And not only is this data available at individual property levels, we also offer aggregated inventory and activity reports for closures. Our valuation category really captures all the data that provides value and valuation insights of a property. So our AVM, as its name implies, is an automated valuation model that estimates the value of a property. Our AVM is focused on residential real estate and specifically single family and condominium properties. And we choose to focus here for two reasons. One, because this is where most of our customers operate. And two, because AVMs are simply not as accurate on commercial, which would include multi-unit homes, industrial and manufactured or mobile housing, which all have property-specific dynamics that just aren't easy to model out. We also don't model multi-million-dollar homes. Again, these properties have unique features or locations that influence the value that are not captured in the data. So it makes it hard to accurately create comparable property selections. We provide two types of assessor values in our tax assessor product. The assessed value is the value of the home assigned by each jurisdiction in order to calculate a homeowner's property tax. And we also have market values, and the market value is what the county assessor defines as the market value of the property, what it could sell for. So this is different than an AVM. This is actually the assessor providing this information. And then we offer estimated home equity. That's derived from subtracting the current outstanding loan balance from the current property AVM. And at the end of the day, that's a very simple calculation to make. But the real work is done in estimating the remaining loan balance, which is part of the loan model logic that I mentioned earlier. So knowing current home equity is very valuable in marketing for prospecting or looking for homeowners with or without equity. We also see customers using this data in sales operations, like for verification of loan to value for homeowners who are applying for loans or for generating market trend report around equity. So it combines schools, hazard risk, and neighborhood data on one slide. And these three categories really capture relevant lifestyle data around the community where a property is located. So we felt it necessary to split out our school data as its own category because it's really quite robust and includes detailed information on more than 127,000 public and private schools. That would be elementary, middle, and high school, as well as school districts throughout the U.S. Data fields that we would include are specific programs and classes around the schools, as well as statistics concerning enrollment, test scores, and class size. And this data paired with our school boundaries, which I'll talk about in the next slide, really creates a robust package of school data for our customers. So we offer risk data around local natural disasters and environmental risk. And some of the more relevant hazards that we offer for our real estate customers would be hurricane, earthquake, and hail, risk, as well as air pollution. This data is aggregated down to residential subdivisions and neighborhoods level, so you can really get a good understanding of the hazards and risks at very hyper-local levels. Our demographic data provides statistical information about local community like population and population projections, ethnicity, age, education attainment, and much more. The data is aggregated also at a hyper-local geography levels. So it really allows for a true understanding of a local community. And then last, our points of interest data identifies the locations of local restaurants, landmarks, businesses, and much more. And that provides our real estate clients with, again, really local points of interest for their customers who want to see, home shopping information or how close the nearest cafe or grocery store is to a property. Now, I want to talk about our boundaries. So we separated our boundaries, and we had it on our last version of the table of elements. But we really want to call this out because these shapes are created using geographical information systems. So that's GIS data, and they're utilized a lot for putting them onto a map for customers or to use within a database to determine if a point like a property is within a specific boundary. And that's very useful for real estate search, risk identification, or target marketing. So we offer a lot of different boundary sets, from parcel boundary to census and postal boundaries, which would be like states, counties, cities, and zips. We also offer FEMA flood boundaries for anyone looking to understand the flood zone that a particular property falls within. But I do want to highlight two data layers that are particularly important for many of our customers and for which we have an in-house GIS team hand digitizing the boundary data layers. These are not easy data layers to come by, and they change regularly, unlike some of the census boundaries. But our team keeps these updated and adds new shapes regularly. So the first one would be our school attendance areas. These identify the geographic areas served by each regular public school. We cover 95% of schools nationwide with this data. And the boundaries really allow customers to identify the assigned schools to an individual property. A property is not always assigned to the nearest public school, so it's important to have these boundaries in order to understand and identify the correct school to property assignment. And this is really important, especially with savvy home buyers who want to live in areas with high performing schools. Even for ones without children, home buyers are getting to understand that a school's performance can really have significant impact on the value of a home. We also hand digitize our neighborhood boundaries. We do a lot of research around, maintaining the neighborhood boundaries and seeing as new neighborhoods come up, ensuring that these get into the product. We do have nationwide coverage that includes the areas that are normally associated with core city level neighborhoods and sub-neighborhoods. So again, these are not easy to come by boundary shapes like a census boundary type. This is really those core city level neighborhoods that are really locally known within a community. The great thing about the neighborhood boundaries is they allow for hyperlocal searching, filtering, tagging, and valuing homes, as well as doing any analytics or data aggregations at a more granular geographic level. And then last slide that I'm going to cover here. As part of our acquisition of Home Junction last year, which not only brought to ATTOM the GIS team that creates and maintains the boundary data sets, we're now able to provide listing data and solutions to any member of the MLS. We provide turnkey website designs, WordPress plugins, or IDX solutions that customers can integrate into an agent or broker's existing website. It's through these solutions where we deliver the listing data that these customers, as MLS members, have the right to access. And this data includes the active listings, sold listings, listing photos, and much more. And the data is updated frequently, and it's standardized in common formats. So that's a relatively quick overview of our data assets that we're representing in our new table of elements. Of course, if you have questions, you can submit your questions around the data or wanting to learn more about any particular data set. But right now, I want to turn it over to Harrison Burka of SES Risk Solutions to discuss how his company uses our data to analyze risk.
Thanks, Sean. Just to give some context about myself and the company so that you kind of understand where we came to start using ATTOM Data. So my name's Harrison Burka. I'm with a business analyst at SES Solutions. I've been with the company about 2.5 years, but I've been in the data analytics industry for about 8 years. My belief has always been that decisions should really be driven by data and not based on subjectivity. And as I've become more immersed in the insurance world and our underwriting practices, I saw an opportunity to enhance our process to be more data driven. So it's not an easy task to convince, underwriters who have been doing this for 30 years and I'm just kind of jumping into their industry and they think that I'm trying to automate them, that we should start using more data driven approaches. But, our team has been committed and willing to evolve our processes in order to provide the best possible underwriting to our risk-bearing partners. So the real secret sauce for our underwriting is the collaboration between our data science team and our underwriting team to incorporate intuition and experience into the automation and data. So as we continue to find ways to innovatively incorporate data science into our processes, I believe our company will provide the best and most profitable underwriting in the industry. So about SES, we're a insurance program administrator. So we have the authority to underwrite on behalf of the carriers we represent. Right now, we have underwriting authority for 5 A+ rated carriers, and those would be Lloyd's of London and Zurich, among others. Our target market is the real estate investors, and we gain distribution to that market through 500 or so retail agents, and we also partner with some of the leading insurance agency networks. Our product is specific to investors with tenant-occupied dwellings, and our coverages are tailored for investor properties rather than homeowner policies. So we offer the PNC master policies, which could have 500 or so properties, or even as low as 5 properties under one policy. And then we have tenant legal liability, which is a new product of ours. We found this to be a very successful product because it protects investors against tenant-caused damage. So it's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of real estate investors that not many know about. Earthquake and flood insurance, and then we also do excess liability up to $25 million. So historically, insurance has been very slow to evolve and adapt to the insurtech trend. So as that's become more prevalent, we see ourselves still as very technology driven. We have an in-house development team, which is probably rare in this space, but that allows us to evolve our systems and our business to meet the needs of a rapidly changing investor market. Our technology focus in the past has been more towards our self-service policy administration tool, which has been a huge differentiator for us because it gives users the ability to add and remove properties, add coverages, do endorsements without hassle and delay. More recently, we've been shifting focus towards machine learning-based underwriting and online quote bind issue systems. So faster quotes will give us a better customer experience, and then the scientific risk management that we're incorporating through the machine learning underwriting would lead to more profitable business for our carriers. So all of those combined make us efficiently able to scale up. So we've been in the business for over 30 years, but have only gone after investors for 7 years. So it has taken some time to get to critical mass. We launched with the understanding, knowing that we would need to review and refine our process. And while we took some swats at rate changes, deductible changes, it was more anecdotal. And while still profitable for our carriers, we've seen an uptick in fire frequency and severity, which was the impetus of driving us toward a more scientific path. And with the help of ATTOM Data, we were able to build proprietary risk scores using machine learning models, which have improved our loss ratio, our profitability, and they've also allowed us to gain support for the industry-leading carriers that we do business for. We utilize ATTOM's community zip code level data in our modeling to determine which of the over 250 attributes were significant indicators to fire losses. We use the significant attributes paired with some loss data to derive our risk scores without giving too much of what we did away. But we've since integrated those risk scores into our rating models and shifted our concentration from the higher risk zones. And by doing so, we've seen some tremendous results. So on the slide here, you can see our claim frequency has been reduced by about 50% from the time we implemented these risk scores, which we utilize ATTOM Data for. Our loss dollars have gone down by 60%, and our average loss amount has gone down by 25%. So we've seen tremendous results, and we're looking forward to continuing to implement more and more data into our processes. And I believe that ATTOM really made a difference, and their community data was very accurate and reliable, and it's been great working with them.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Harrison. I'm now going to turn it over to Anton Danilovich, the CEO at TopHap.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll jump right into a product demo to show you how we visualize ATTOM Data. TopHap is a real estate technology company, and what we do in simplest terms is visualize real estate market trends and conditions. I've spent 18 years in residential real estate, and 2 years into my journey, I did my first flip, and that really took me on the path of building a career around the investment segment of the business. I highly focused on buyer trends, seller trends, migration patterns, really anything and everything that I can do to identify profitability and future profitability within regions, identifying properties with the upside potential. And even with all of that experience, 18 years later, when I wanted to expand into new territories, I couldn't. You put me 10 miles in any direction from the East Bay area where we currently are, where I've done business with, and I'm fish out of water, right? And I started thinking about the journey of every other real estate agents out there and how they gain their market intelligence within the industry. And that's by doing transactions, right? You get licensed, you do a deal, you understand that type of a property in that neighborhood, but it's not until you do 20, 30, 40 deals is when you really truly understand a region. But even then, it's a very small region, and you're completely confined to the area as an agent that you operate in. And if you think about the buyer and the seller, well, you know, they have even less luck in overall understanding the market trends because they just transact maybe once every 5 to 10 years. So what we set out to do is build a platform that allows anybody to understand any region, any property in the state of California. Now we're going nationwide. So we did that with ATTOM Data. And let me go ahead and share my screen and show you how we're doing it. One second. Here we go. So I can spend over an hour on this demo. I'm going to go through it in about 15 minutes, just show you the relevant stuff so you can see what we've done. It's a home search platform. You can analyze the entire state of California, soon nationwide. But I'm going to go ahead and close the search capability and turn off the listing so I can show you what our secret sauce is and what we've done with ATTOM Data. We've acquired pretty much every single data source that they have. We're visualizing maybe 75 or 80% of them. We're not showing commercial and foreclosures as of yet, but we're visualizing it via heat map, and the heat map is light to dark, green to purple, and the reason we did that is because it's colorblind safe, And the darker colors always represent a higher value of whatever analytics layer that you're looking at, which are all grouped together here at the bottom. The one that's on for default is our TopHap estimate. So we did build our own ABM. And what you see when looking at the Bay Area, you can clearly understand where the higher price points are, right? Via darker color representation. When you zoom in to any given region, you will see that the map readjusts, right? And when you zoom into the block level, this is where you're seeing ATTOM data parcels. You can see what the price points look like within the specific neighborhood, and not just what things cost, but the trend of value as they're flowing through the neighborhood, right? Here you can see a less expensive street, one over has a different value characteristics. We show you price per square foot, we show you rental estimates, and then if we get into the property details, things that you get from the tax data from the ATTOM's on suite of data sets, living area. Here we go. We can now slice and dice a region, any region, and understand how big the properties are this way. We can analyze bedroom, bathroom counts. We can look at lot sizes. Let me zoom out. We have lot slopes, garages, if homes have a pool or not, right? Stories, age of homes, property types, and here's the HOA information that was just discussed. Our original analytics show you walkability, noise pollution. As you zoom out, we can show you noise not just from the major street and freeways, but we can also show you flight paths, daytime population, seasonal population, everything here is visualized for you, elevation, rainfall, temperatures, crime index. Let me zoom out again. And as you hover over, you can see what the crime scores are. Land use, and this is one of the most important for residential application, is neighborhoods, right? So if you really wanted to understand where here we go, school zones, right? We'll zoom in, like, look at how this neighborhood in particular is split in two, with two different school zones, half of the street being belonging to one school and the other half of the street belonging to another. How else would you really know this information unless you were a seasoned agent working there? And across the freeway, it's a completely different school. So all the school data is coming from ATTOM. Property density, there you go. And then a full on-suite of hazards. Earthquake risk, let me zoom out. We can take a look at the whole Bay Area and see what that looks like. You know, wind index, ozone, air pollution, you know, you can clearly see that there's an abundance of hazards information that ATTOM offers and that we visualize. NO2, hail, you know, hurricane's not important here, but in some states it is. We do have market data, so things like ownership time. You know, if you really wanted to go after consumers that have been in their home for quite some time, this is good for farming in a real estate application, you can see how long the individuals have been occupying their property for. Or if it's owner occupied, right? We show you last sales prices, last price per square foot, and then turnover information. Now, here is the home equity change that was discussed. And what we can see is home equity change over the last year via percent or value. And you can see how much growth our region has experienced, or, you know, decline if that's the case. Full tax assessment. So here we can take a look at tax assessed values, tax billed amounts, tax billed amount per acre, tax value of land. And again, when you zoom in, you can do this on a very zoomed in level per parcel. Permit counts, you know, this is when you want to analyze any type of permits. Here's a full selection of permits that ATTOM offers. If you want to look at home additions, garage, you know, let's look at patios, right? And you can decide whether you want to look at the last year, last 5 years. It's up to you, right? We have permit values, and here's the community data that was also talked about. If you really want to understand about the most important thing, what makes regions up is people, and everything about them, here it is. Population, population density, female, male population, median age, people who are married or divorced, widowed, separated. I mean, you can see this goes on and on and on and on. family sizes, average household size, household income. And then here's this the school information, ratings, test scores, educational climate index, number of students per grade. I mean, just an abundance of information that is just so helpful during a home decision, a buying or selling decision, whether it's a consumer, whether it's an investor, whether it's a real estate agent trying to get familiar with an area. What we wanted to do is build a platform where you can come to and get all of your questions answered. So we are everything real estate in one place. Commercial is coming probably in the next couple of months, and we're going nationwide by April and looking to expand our ATTOM visualization offerings as they expand theirs.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Let me just take, thank you again, both Anton and Harrison, for joining us, and of course, Sean, for your great insight. Again, please make sure to submit any questions in the question box, and I'll be sure to answer them within 2 business days. Just before you leave us today, we hope you enjoyed this presentation, and a reminder, a copy of the webinar will be sent to you shortly. Please visit our website at attomdata.com for more information on ATTOM and how you can use our property data to leverage your business. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great day.